This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael, I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen Fando y Lis, a surreal Mexican fantasy drama from director Alejandro Jodorowsky, made back in 1968. It follows the title characters, who are lovers in a rather unusual and discomforting relationship, as they journey through the countryside to find the mythical city of Tar, where they can live in happiness and prosperity, and the partially paralyzed Liz can be healed and walk again. The road to Tar isn't easy, though, as it is not only a path that takes the two through a twisted and dangerous road of unusual people and places, but one which puts Fando through a hellish landscape that forces him to contend with his past as a child, his present with Liz, and whatever the future holds for them. Needless to say, things get darker and more psychological as the story progresses, at least for Fando. When it comes to Liz, she just ends up being used and abused, primarily at Fando's hands. It's something that does tie into Fando's story, who ends up being the main focus of the film despite its title, but it still makes you wish that she were given some reprieve outside of flashbacks. In any case, the psychological aspects of the movie are at least interesting to follow, especially in conjunction with the surreal images and ideas that pepper the landscape. Much of the movie's appeal is in how it presents these oddities, some of which hit their conceptual mark, and others which end up being a bit too obscure. I suppose it depends more upon context, which is why the elements that deal with and connect to Fando and Lisa's pasts are the ideas that stick better. In any case, it does still show a unique sense of storytelling from the filmmakers, one that tries to step away from traditional methods in favor of something like out of a person's dreams. Fando y Lis keeps up this surreal artistry through its technical aspects as well as its visuals. This is primarily accomplished through cinematography and editing, which tends to ramp things up in some scenes to convey chaos and confusion, especially in Fando's flashbacks that show things more from his direct perspective as a child, with people crowding the frame and fast cuts and a faster pacing as events happen around him. In the present, things are more evenly paced out, with Fando and Lisa's journey to Tar taking a slow stride, and allowing whatever strange events that occur to play out in full, with slow camera movements and close-ups that show whatever's going on in its entirety, and bringing attention to smaller details and actions. Music also helps these scenes move along well enough, though it's not as important to the film and its storytelling as what can actually be seen. The bulk of the story is found in its visuals, and that surreal aspect is what really sets it apart from other movies like this, assuming, of course, that they exist. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this before. But, yeah, to summarize, Fando y Lis is a hard story to take in, both in its subject matter and visual presentation, but there is some sense of happiness and love to be found within its runtime. Fando y Lis, Alejandro Jodorowsky, 1968. 3.5 stars. I'd say it's worth giving a watch. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I might actually go as far as to say that the movie probably could have ramped up the surreal elements a bit more than it actually had. At the very least, that might have softened the blows of the rest of the story.